Hey guys, welcome to the channel, This Show on the Road. Today we're going to be visiting my state capital, Raleigh, North Carolina. We're going to be going to the art museum, Egyptian mummies, beautiful Christian artwork, and early American paintings. We're going to be going to the Museum of Natural Science to check out minerals, fossils, taxidermy. We're going to be having a staple North Carolina meal at Cookout, and of course, having an amazing time. So please, join me on this adventure, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to help grow the channel. So come along, let's go. We've arrived at the North Carolina Museum of Art. Take a look at this place. In 1947, North Carolina became the first state in the US to use public funds to purchase a collection of art for its citizens. This museum building right here houses real Egyptian mummies from around 300 BC. This is the only place in the South that you can stare into the face of someone who lived 2,000 plus years ago. One of the galleries that I'm excited to see is the Religious Art Gallery. This holds ancient Christian, Jewish, and Islamic art. This is going to be a powerful collection, and I'm glad you guys can come along with me. So join me, let's go. Take a look at this. We have Mother Mary and Jesus on the throne here, and this was done in France, 1150 to 1200. Wow. And this was purchased in 1962, and it's been here ever since. Amazing. Now this one is Mexican. It is a female deity or deity impersonator, and this one is from the year 600 to 900. Now here's another amazing piece in the devotion section. This one pictures Joan of Arc from circa 1620 to about after 1640. Now this one is a Torah ensemble from 1921. This is the focal point of Jewish liturgy and the most sacred object in the synagogue. This contains the 5 books of Moses. Great care and attention are traditionally lavished on housing and protecting the scrolls. Now this is the coffin of Amun-Red. This one is from 715 to 525 BC, from the 25th to 26th dynasty. Okay, now this one is really impressive. Egyptian artists, they made a headrest, and this one's from the 3rd to 6th dynasty, 2686, 2181 BC. And it's made of wood. How did that survive so long? Now don't get me messing up names, but here's a relief fragment featuring a Ka priest. This one's from the 5th to 6th dynasty, 2494 to 2181 BC. See how it still has the color on there, showing the depiction of the skin. Another incredibly old piece, but about 1,000 years of difference. This one's from the 18th dynasty, 1390 to 1352 BC. So take a look at this one. This is an interesting fact here. So King Taraka is the 4th and most famous of the 5 Kushanite kings who ruled Pharaonic Egypt in its 25th dynasty. He is mentioned in the Bible as having helped King Hezekiah withstand a siege against Jerusalem by the Assyrian king. And here's the Bible verse as well. He oversaw major archaeological restoration and construction projects in both Sudan and Egypt, and his pyramid in the royal cemetery at Nuri contained 1,070 of these little statues right here. So this right here is an Anubis in the form of a reclining jackal. This one's from 715 to 525 BC, 25th to 26th dynasty. And you can see right here, they have a hinge for the tail so the tail can swing. So you can see here, this was wrapped around the mummy. You can see the wrappings behind the gold here. The gold was associated with the never-dying sun, a supremely powerful symbol of resurrection. It wasn't just a wealth symbol. It was important into entering the afterlife. This is a false door functioning as a link between the world of the living and the dead. And just for scale here, take a look at that right there. Wow. I mean, it's a massive piece. And this one's from 2321 to 2278 BC. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the name, but this is who it belonged to. Okay, so I was told that I can't have the monopod, my selfie stick, on my camera because someone can damage the art with it. I mean, you could do it with our fist, but I get it. So we're gonna be filming handheld. So I just gotta grab the actual camera itself, which is a little awkward, but it'll work all the same. Okay, so this is a Roman mosaic piece of pavement. This is from the 2nd century, made of marble, limestone, and glass. Take a look at this. A Roman couch attachment with Selinus, 50 BC to 100. So here's a depiction of what it kind of looks like and where it could have been attached right up there. So this features Selinus, the foster father of the god of wine, Dionysus. The small bronze busts were fixed to the lower end of a fulcrum. Decorations related to the Dionysian themes were appropriate for dining rooms where wine flowed freely during drinking parties. Okay, so another large one. Take a look at the size. This one is a stela of the priest Dionysios and his wife, Tertia. The couple represented on this funerary monument were non-elite members of Roman society in Phrygia, present-day Turkey. The inscription states that the stela is dedicated to Dionysos, priest, and Tertia, by herself living, and by her children, Gaius, Menisos, Pes, and Amias, living and unmarried. The visuals that you can see, such as the scrolls, the knife, mirror, spindle, are items of everyday life that identify the profession, status, and roles of the deceased. And of course on this one, this whole thing is made of marble, and then it has that blue pigment that you can see. And here's a good chunk of the blue, it looks like right there. See, right there, you can see a nice piece of that blue pigment. The blue pigment was identified as Egyptian blue, the world's first artificial pigment. Used in ancient Egypt for thousands of years, it became the preferred blue pigment of the Roman world. So as you can see here, take a look. All of this is the Egyptian blue that the Romans had. And you can see that shown up here and here on this piece, right along this area. Might be able to see a little right here. I kind of noticed, yeah. You can see right there. The Egyptian blue is a mix of copper, silica, lime, and the ash from a salt-loving plant. So here's a few depictions of the Virgin Mary and Jesus here. Take a look up here and the difference in these two pieces of marble. This one right here is nice, polished, smooth. This one's a bit rough. Now that could have been due to weathering and other factors like that, but look at how well preserved this one is right here. Take a look at this piece right here. We have John the Evangelist, Mother Mary, Jesus, John the Baptist, and Saint Francis. Look at that. Okay, now take a look at these here. I mean, it just shows you what they were working on. Look at this. And this was used in a church where people worshiped at those times, just like we still worship today. I would like to see these things come back. This one's made of ivory and has blue paint and a metal crown. It amazes me that in the 1300s they had all the access to these colors and this talent, and how you can see right here it has this engraving, and I think it's called like stippling, where you tap it and create those little dots, all adorned on the edges here and then around, and then right here in these corners, and then you have this carved, right? And then everything works as a whole painting. And then you have the same thing right here, that engraving coming down. And then again, with these corner pieces right here, that thick wood that it was placed on. And you gotta think, this is all hand done, 1300s. Amazing work, absolutely amazing. And then another piece right here from the 1300s, and this one right here depicts the life of Jesus from birth to the disciples, to the crucifixion, and to the resurrection. And again, you can see the engraving, the stippling, all adorned, coming around. Same with these small pictures right here, going along the border. Okay, so here we're going into a couple pieces from the 1400s. So take a look at these paintings, marble, carvings. Look at this. And then this one right here, as you can see up there, this is the coat of arms of the Francian order, surrounded by a garland of fruits, vegetables, and flowers. And this was made by the Della Robbia family workshop, 1430 to 1566. And then this one right here, as you can see it up here, this is the coat of arms for the Antonite or Villabrosan order, surrounded by a garland of fruits, flowers, vegetables, and pine cones. This one's 1520 to 1535. Take a look at how impressive this art is right here. This is from 1435 to 1440, and just look at the details. Look at the colors. And I was thinking either their art had to have been getting better, or this is a very skilled artist. But it says right here, this was by Brimley, one of the most extraordinary painters of the 15th century Europe. Amazing. This was used by clergymen while traveling or transporting the Eucharist to the sick. And then you see the hinges right here, how this folds up. And then look at the details in the carving here. But it's amazing to think someone from the 1400s, one of the most extraordinary painters of the 15th century, Brimley, did this himself. Now, did he do the carving? It doesn't say. But he definitely painted these paintings here, and this is extraordinary, absolutely. What an amazing piece. So take a look here. Here's another comparison. This was from 1480 to 1500 AD. And then look at the painting here. Still beautiful, absolutely. But as the one that we have just seen, oh man. Okay, that was amazing. Absolutely astounding pieces of Christian history. From Greece to Rome to Italy, France. Everyone who adopted Christianity after Christ was crucified and that Roman soldier realized who he truly was. It's amazing to me. So let's head off to the next exhibit and see what else we can find. So right outside, we have some statues here, Roman, from the 2nd century, or 1st century to the 2nd century. Take a look at these. Again, when we're looking at these things, we got to think this is directly from these time periods, and real people used their hands to craft this, used their minds to think of this, craft it, and then it was displayed in the streets, in pieces of architecture around the cities, in rich homes or castles. And you have to think as well, see, these weren't just something like today, like we purchase, we can purchase a print from Amazon for $5, $20, and just put it on the wall, and everybody has a house and everybody has these paintings. No, these were important people. These were done by hand. There was no printing that was happening. These were all done by hand, and these were commissioned by rich people, because it took a lot of time and effort to create these paintings, especially from the important painters of that time. You see, like, you take a look at this one right here, The Scourging of Christ, Francesco Bassano the Younger and Jacopo Bassano. The Bassanos were an influential family of artists active in Venice and the surrounding regions for 3 generations during the 16th century. Wow. And you gotta think, how much did he make on that? And who was purchasing it? Let's see, does it say? No, it doesn't say like where or what house it was brought from or what area, but somebody spent good money, because these people are not working for free. And like the size of this painting, the amount of paint it took, all the different color, right? All the different color that is added in here, right? And then the size frame that it comes with all cost money. Let's see if this says where. Sebastiano Ricci, Alexander and the family of Darius. So it doesn't say like where it came from. I wish we knew that, like where, like, you know, the castle of wherever, who knows. That would be incredible. But it came from Italy, 1659 to 1734. And then another one from Sebastiano Ricci. And again, massive. massive. And then the blues that they have in there, the reds, the vibrant colors. That one doesn't have as many vibrant colors, but this one right here, picture you have. And this stuff right here like wasn't stories of old. It wasn't, times before. This is what it actually was. These people were probably here looking at it and painting it right on site. It wasn't like something from history, somebody looks at this right here and then they paint this and we have an idea of what it looks like, what it looked like. No, this is what it was. And the people who were here were sitting, maybe right at the bottom of these very steps, right where we're standing. Bang. They're standing here looking at this scene, painting it right here. Bang. And then that's what they seen right there, right? And again, look at it. Look at the size. The size, all the paint, the skill, the canvas, the frame. I mean, amazing, amazing. Now these were probably picked from, scenes from the Bible, unlike other scenes that we have where it's, maybe somebody standing right there looking at something and painting it. This is something that they've read and then they use their imagination to create this image and then bang, this is what we get. And then we have another marble piece here. Look at the depiction of the hair and then the cloth here and even this rope. And you have the wings, everything beautifully done. Look at how beautiful this is, right? With the cloth, right? But you have the cloth with the face of Christ on there. Beautiful. He's holding the cloth and you can see how it just bang, folds and then it's blowing in the wind, but you also have the face of Christ carved into it as well. I mean, the skill set and the tools that had to go along with that, because you can be the most skilled, but the tools as well could possibly hold you back. See, and I'm wondering if he had somebody. Maybe he did a painting beforehand, right? So the artist had a person holding cloth like this so he could understand how it moved in the wind and how it would look when somebody's holding it, having that bow right there and how it folds over, right? Because you can see how it kind of just folds over, right? It's not just bent, little creases and everything like that. So I wonder if he had somebody just standing there the whole time as he carved it, or if he painted it beforehand, had somebody stand there, do that, painted it, got the idea, and then carved it. European art, 1600 to 1900. Now this one's Dutch, but you can also see right here the depictions of the angels. This one's from 1634 to 1693. Ooh, I need a print of this. Look at this, this is beautiful. Of course, I'm a little biased, right? But just take a look at that. Yeah, this was from 1700 to 1705. So getting close to our independence here in America. Oh wow, another massive, beautiful landscape here. This was for depicting a stag hunt. As you can see the stag right here. And then you have the hunters. You can see the hounds. And take a look if this was like a true depiction of what they were doing. He's saving that gunpowder. Maybe it's expensive, but these people are coming at it with spear. And then you have a guy up here with a bow and arrow, just in case it goes downriver. You have the hounds that are drawing out the stag here. Oh, there's another one. Another stag that's running over this way. So he is gonna shoot from up there and make sure it doesn't get away. Take a look at the detail on this portrait here. So they don't know who this is, but you can tell his personality by the gaze and his wealth by this beautiful black clothing he has on here. Gold ring, maybe with some kind of gem in there, and quality handmade seat. But just look at the detail on the face. That one really follows you. Yeah, so we have a bunch of portraits here, and they don't know who they are of, but if you take a look, portrait of a man, right? But you can tell they're of some sort of importance, maybe business, politician, some form of government, something like that. You can tell the wealth, the status, based on how they're dressed, right? Because you don't get these, these like adornments in the clothing. You know, this one here is a portrait of Arend Kivit, Dutch, 1589 to 1660. So I would say look him up, get some information on him to see, his status, right? Because you can look at the one we just seen and then him, and they have somewhat of the same style going on, right? And then you have this signature. Go look at that. 1633, huh? Oh, now this one. This is a painful depiction of the dentist. Look at that. And look at the tools he's going in there with. The only thing this man has, maybe a little bit of alcohol, but he's got his prayer rosary, because that had to hurt. And again, beautiful detail on this, with the shine of the light coming off of this, the details and the fat on the hand, the neck, everything so well put together. And then you have a signature. right there. Ah, so take a look at this one. This one's really interesting. This one is from 1629 to 1679, and this depicts the worship of the golden calf when Moses went up the mountain to talk to God. Right there you can see golden calf lifted up, and right up here, there's Moses up there wondering, what are you guys doing? We don't worship the golden calf no more. We worship God. That's a funny addition. I like that. He's up there waving his hand like, please, what are you doing? And then here's the signature. Nicely placed on that little gourd. And wow, take a look at these. These are interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this back section. These are Rembrandt plates with copper. Take a look at this. From 1606 to 1669. Rembrandt van Rijn. You have the raising of Lazarus here. And then you got the golf player playing golf in 1654. And this is the artist's mother here, Rembrandt's mom, and a self-portrait of Rembrandt himself. Take a look at that. Okay, I just wanted to stop for a second and appreciate this American art here. This one was done in 1871 to 1873. This is Yosemite National Park. Beautiful landscape photography here. Another one of the Grand Canyon in Arizona. Landscape in Ecuador. Oh wow, this one's pretty impressive. Look, you can see a little town back there, but then you see the little smoke coming off of it as well. It's the Nevada Mountains in California. Sierra Nevada Mountains in California. And it doesn't say what this one is, but I mean, absolutely beautiful. That sunset or sunrise coming up. Then you have the water washing up, crashing against the rocks, birds coming in. It would have been cool for a little fish jumping, but you know how it goes. And we have New Hampshire, Eagle Cliff. And this is like a little, I wouldn't say settlement, this is just some home with the farm you see here, the family, a couple of cows, chickens. They're cutting down these trees over here. So just a beautiful, beautiful landscape shot. Now take a look at these large books right here. Now this is James Audubon. And look at these massive books that he puts these paintings in. And this is called The Birds of America. And you flip through each one, and he just draws the different birds. Okay, now I believe this one is a marble depiction of King Saul. Take a look at the size of this. And then I mean the details, you know, even in the toes here. You can see how the, what is that, a cuticle coming out from the top there. The tassels, of course, the folding of the cloth. And this is Roma, 1865. We have the wording engraved here. You got the pot, you have his chair, and the name, Saul. But you also have, I believe that's the Hebrew up there.
Feeling better?
Much better. We have the modern art section right here. I'm not gonna be heading into the modern art section. It's not really my thing. I like the historical art far better. Nonetheless, we're gonna be going over to the North Carolina Museum of Natural Science now, and we're gonna be checking out some fossils that predate everything that we've seen in the Historical Museum of Art. So let's go, let's check this out. Join us. Okay, so we've arrived at the North Carolina Museum of Natural Science. Amazing. This place houses some incredible fossils, science-related exhibits, coastal and intercoastal galleries, and a bunch of information that we can take in. So let's head inside. Let's go. Okay, so we were at the first exhibit. Now, an interesting thing, if you guys check out the Wilmington video where we go check out the USS North Carolina and go to the Fort Fisher, North Carolina Aquarium, they have a full set of megalodon teeth on theirs. This one, as you can see here, has the majority artificial, but at Fort Fisher, they have a full set of natural megalodon teeth. So go check out that video and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so here we're gonna be entering coastal North Carolina. Let's go. Okay, so look at this. Again, when we were at Fort Fisher catching the flounder in the Wilmington video, this is another show of what we had. Right here where the mussels were, and then right here where the fiddler crab were. So take a look at this one. This one's pretty interesting. This is how the sea turtles hatch, right under the sand. Once they get buried from the top here, take a look. You see how the sea turtle, she comes up, lays her eggs in this hole, and then she leaves. But then once it's time for them to hatch, boom, they hatch in here, they start crawling out, and then they'll bust through the top and head right to the water. I mean, it's amazing how life is able to sustain itself and continue to flourish and thrive. And then once the sea turtles reach the sea, they like to hang out in this like seaweed patch, this thick stuff, because it protects them from predators. And then if everything goes well, here's what they'll become. Take a look at the size of that thing. She's absolutely massive. Okay, let's head up the escalator. Wow, so take a look at the size of this thing. This right here is a sperm whale. And look at those teeth, right? Take a look at that. That's about as big as my palm. The sperm whale's head right here accounts for 35% of their body length. I mean, look at how massive that thing is. And then you see right here where the top jaw would be, right? And then they have all of that area right here curving outward, coming in. Wow. Okay, and then we have right below it here, bang, that one right there, humpback whale. So that's what she looks like. And these are massive as well. I mean, just look at this thing. And this one doesn't have teeth. It has baleen to eat krill and small fish. So you see right here how they feed. You see the small fish, maybe that's a shrimp, small fish. They come right up out of the water and grab these schools of fish, shrimp, krill, all kinds of things. And then here's a real one breaching the water right here. So these can reach 60 feet and weigh 40 tons. So right here is the right whale. And this is what she looks like. To early whalers, right whales were the right whales to hunt. They swam slowly and traveled close to shore. When dead, they floated. And they were valued for their blubber, which was rendered into soap, fuel oil, and for their strong, flexible baleen, which was used to make buggy whips and corset stays. And look right here, whale lice. This would grow right up here, 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 here. You can see that. Each species of whale has its own species of lice. And then we have a true-beaked whale. Now this one pales in comparison to the size of these monsters. And it kind of looks like a dolphin, but it is a whale. But take a look at this jaw right here, and then this tooth. Okay, so this massive aquatic mammal is the blue whale. Take a look at this. So this whale can produce about 6 times more oil than any other whale species, and the evidence is here in the skeleton. Take a look at the head right there. The skull of the blue whale hanging in this gallery is saturated with oil, making it darker than the rest of the bones. The oil was so valuable that blue whales were hunted almost to extinction in the early 20th century. And take a look here. I wonder if that's an actual picture of whaling. It looks like it was washed up on shore, but I don't know if they hunted it or not. But take a look at this. Blue whales can get to a length of 100 feet and weigh as much as 200 tons. Look at the size of this massive beast. Another interesting thing is take a look at what it eats. You can see the tiny krill, but there's massive, massive schools of krill. I'm not sure if it's called a school or a swarm or however, but they would come up, swoon, swallow all those things whole. Okay, let's keep moving here. Ooh. We can't pass this up. Take a look at him. This is an eastern glass lizard. I wanted to stop and show you guys him because he's gonna go back underground here shortly. He's just hanging out outside, getting a look at everything. Okay, so this is dedicated to the more modern explorers in the current times, right? So take a look, you have modern technology, kids out having fun, everybody just enjoying a good time, getting educated, and finding out what our planet has to offer. So let's go into the collection section. Wow, okay, so take a look at all the specimens that they have here. Look, all of these are real and preserved in these jars. Like these frogs here, or these toads it looks like, right? Maybe bullfrog, maybe a toad. I think a bullfrog, right? Because of the kind of like triangular shape. I could be wrong, but we try. And I wonder if this guy's real right here. They also have the taxidermy section, so take a look. We'll take a look at this next, but here's a little sneak peek. So here we have the mammalogy collection. Only 140 of the 9,000 mammal specimens were collected by early museum naturalists, but some specimens remain significant. HH Brimley, the first curator, collected and prepared 3 great whales, establishing the museum as an international resource for whale study. And then take a look at this thing, a massive isopod. So here's the paleontology collection. In the study of fossils, the remains of past plants and animals waiting to tell their secrets. Fossils are buried everywhere, and some prehistoric whale fossils in the collection were found as far west as Wayne and Halifax counties, suggesting that Atlantic shores were once near the present center of the state. So that's like the same idea as the megalodon teeth as well. You can find megalodon teeth, I believe, the best places like Charlotte or South Carolina, Charleston maybe, where there is a pocket of megalodon teeth, but all of this stuff was underwater. And you can find things like this, like the whale fossils, proving more that we were once completely underwater. So we have the ornithology collection. The museum's bird collection contains most North American bird species, including 4 extinct ones. Most of the collection is new. Of the 25,000 specimens, but only 2,000 were collected before 1975. Some other specimens from the mid-1800s were used by John James Audubon to create artwork. So that was the guy that curated those massive books in the art museum with the different bird arts. And then we have the ichthyology collection, which is a study of fish. The museum's collection documents the biodiversity of North Carolina fish, from streams high in the Blue Ridge Mountains to the depths of the Atlantic, made up of about 800,000 specimens of fish and fish skeletons. Collections rank from 5th largest among the regional collection in the U.S. And then we have the herpology. Herpology is a study of amphibians and reptiles. The museum's collection contains 200,000 specimens, including representatives of all species known to occur in North Carolina. The collection also contains curiosities, 2-headed and albino snakes and turtles. And geology. Geology, the study of the history of Earth as recorded in its rocks and minerals, tells the story of 1.2 billion years. Rare ores from forgotten mines and gems a century old are a few of the 5,000 museum specimens that illuminate human interactions with geology over the past 100 years. Okay, so take a look at this right here. This is going to be the taxidermy section. This is where they create these specimens. So take a look at all this. You see right here, this looks like a finished turkey. And then they have the specimens that are in the jars, right, that preserves them in their natural form. So this is HH Brimley's workroom. This room is a replica of HH Brimley's workroom circa 1910, the museum's first full-time curator. Mr. Brimley was born in England in 1861. He and his family immigrated to North Carolina in 1880, attracted by the same lure of excitement and opportunity that calls people to the state today. Fascinated with nature, H.H. Brimley and his brother C.S. soon began studying the animals of North Carolina. Brimley became the curator in 1895, and his work, done using some of the actual items in this room, laid the foundation for the future of science, exhibits, and programs at the museum. So take a look at this right here. This right here is the start of what taxidermy is. Kind of creepy looking, but this is how you get things like this right here. Take a look. This will be the overall finished product. You have the tree, and you have the taxidermied animals right here. Right here's a possum with her little kits. And this one is even holding a bug, ready to munch down. All right, let's continue on to yesterday's collections. So in this room, we have a whole bunch of rocks and different wood right here, but look at how hard wood that is. I mean, I don't know if you can see the grain from here, but whoa, look at that stuff. All right, so take a look at these different pieces. We have light wood, heavy wood, dense wood, and you can tell by the knock. So let's take a look here, right? Listen. Solid. That one's definitely as solid as it gets right here. The white oak, that one is a heavy, solid piece of wood. Absolutely incredible. Nature's explorers beyond the exhibits. Okay, so are you guys creeped out yet? You're about to be. Look at this. Look at these furry little fellas. Bats. But as much as you might not like them, they eat up to 21,000 insects a year. Take a look at this. Now, which one do you think is worse? Just a furry little fella looking to munch on some insects, or a whole ton of these bugs? See, it's all part of the ecosystem, because if there wasn't bats, then the populations of these bugs like moths, mosquitoes, all types would become far more overpopulated, even though they are still very, very abundant. I mean, have you been to the creek recently? There's tons of mosquitoes. I have bites all over my legs. I mean, it's nuts. Oh, let's take a look in here. Uh-oh. There they are. There's those creepy little fellas, huh? That's awesome. So anywhere that there's a little crack or crevice in something, even your house, you know, in your attic, if you don't have it fully sealed off, you're probably gonna get bats. Bats, squirrels, possums, raccoons, all the likes. Okay, let's keep moving here. Whoa, take a look at all this. Take a look at this. This is the Carolina Emperor Emerald. This thing is 65 carats, 64.85, but 65 carats. Look at the size of this thing. I wonder how much that puppy's worth. Take a look at the size of this. I mean, this thing is massive. One chomp and you're cooked. Filled with complete muscle. Man, look at this. What is this? It's like a bee catfish. There is a ton to look at. So I think this is the skeleton of an Albertosaurus. Okay, let's head into the underwater garden here. Wow, look at this. Massive, giant sloth. And I believe those were native here to North Carolina. Now, they don't have teeth, but look at these claws. That thing is insane. So they're feeding on the longleaf pines in North Carolina 1.5 million years ago. And look at that. Look at the size of this claw. And see, the thing is I don't think this is real, but I think that one is. That one looks real, and that one looks real, but I'm not sure about the other ones. That one definitely looks fake. I mean, look at that, right? You see the mammoth right there, and then you see this, you see the giant sloth munching on the pine trees. insane. And honestly, yeah, it doesn't have teeth, but those giant claws, when a predator comes, bow, knocks it right in the head, done. So this giant sloth was discovered in 1991 during the construction of a retention pond in Wilmington. The fossil remains of several giant sloths were discovered. Through the cooperative efforts of the city of Wilmington, the Cape Fear Museum, the North Carolina State Museum of Natural Sciences, and countless staff and volunteers, a reconstruction of one of the large sloths was accomplished. So, I still don't think all of these are true fossils. I think some of them are just placeholders for the fossil, but it looks like a good majority of these pieces are directly from a real giant sloth. So this is the real skull of an Acrocanthosaurus, which looks like a T-Rex, but it's not a T-Rex, so take a look at this. A predator born 45 million years earlier than the T-Rex, but you can call it Acro, the terror of the South. Okay, so let's head into the atrium. Take a look at this.
We have to get out of here. All right, let's go downstairs. Let's meander.
See, now again, without one of these things telling me that this is all real, I just can't. I can't do it. I have no idea. Let me take a look. Okay, so this actually is the skeleton of the Acrocanthosaurus, okay? This is the real skeleton of it. Now, there are definitely some replacement pieces, gotta be, but it says it's the most complete one that has ever been found. Okay, so like I was saying, even though it looks like a T-Rex, they would have never fought each other because they didn't live in the same region or in the same time period. But lots of people get them confused today. And then you can see here, the Tyrannosaurus has the 2 claws. The Acrocanthosaurus has 3 claws right here. Okay, so take a look at this. It said, what would you do if you were being chased by the most dangerous predator of your time? But it says this thing right here. He doesn't run very much, right? But the thing is look at that tail, right? Take a look at this. Tail like a whip, and all that pure muscle just wow, wow. And it would take this thing out. It would knock him down, knock him out. And back in these times, if this predator takes damage to its leg, to its neck, to its face, it's done. There's no way of healing that injury. The same like most animals today, but these giant ones, when it takes a nice hit, it's breaking a lot. So like this leg right here, this leg gets broken. This animal goes down, and then there's plenty of other predators that will come and feed off of him because he's gonna be defenseless. So here we go. How would this giant dinosaur defend itself? Its large size intimidates predators. It travels in herds, making it hard for predators to choose just one to attack, and it uses its tail to swat attacking predators. See, same like a herd of buffalo, right? And wolves or a bear. The predators will try to get a weak one or a younger one, smaller one. But the thing is, if one of the predators gets hit by, let's say, the buffalo, right? A bear gets knocked over by a buffalo or gets its leg broken or something like that, it's not going to make it out in the wild. Now, it might have a better chance because less predators are out there, but if a pack of wolves are chasing the same herd of buffalo, then the pack of wolves are going to go for the damaged bear. Okay, so we are entering the research lab, paleontology research lab. Take a look at these. So right here is where the researchers do real work. This isn't just for show. This is where they actually observe different specimens. You see how they keep them in these temperature control containers and things like that. This is where there's real work going on, real research. Like this right here, they're uncovering things. And you can see the scratch marks, how they're getting these little pieces of fossil right there, broken up. Wow. This is incredible. Take a look. And look at this. They pour the metal down for the ant colonies, and then bang. This is what the ant colonies look like under the dirt. Okay, so we've made it through almost the whole museum, and we're gonna try to see if we can get into the Capitol before it closes. So let's head out of the museum here, and let's continue over to the Capitol. And I seen a mass of people out front of the Capitol. So the state police told us they didn't shut it down, but they might have now. So we're gonna go find out. But if we can get in, we got about 20 minutes. Oh boy, choppers are out, we're cooked. We're cooked, we're gonna try though. Hey, you know if the Capitol's still open?
It is.
Really?
Yep, entrance is on the other side there.
Awesome, thank you.
You got air conditioning in the bathroom.
I appreciate it. How late's it open till? 5?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, thank you. Okay, so we just left the Capitol. I was told by the Capitol Police that we can't film inside because of the governor's office. We're gonna get a couple more B-roll shots out here. I think that's gonna be it for this right here. We gotta go charge this camera because we got a little bit more to do, but yeah, we're gonna find out what to do next. Okay, so it looks like a lot of the protests at the state capitol here has calmed down. Looks like everybody kind of dispersed. Look at that. Police e-bikes. Wow. So take a look at this. So built in the 1800s by John Haywood, the North Carolina treasurer from 1787 to 1827, operated now by the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America in the state of North Carolina. Beautiful home, incredible piece of American history there. I wonder how much of it is like original versus like refurbished and things like that. Impressive nonetheless. All right, check it out. There's the food hall. So let's head inside and let's check this out. Okay. Now, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, so. Oh, I know a better spot. I gotta trust my instinct because I know exactly where to go. And that's where we're headed. And I believe that's where the night's gonna end. So we're going to Coco Bongo. It's a little bit outside downtown, about 1.5 miles. There's our ride, and that's where we're going. So let's hop on the old trusty steed and let's get out of here. Okay guys, so while I was editing the Raleigh video, I realized we didn't film anything for the food or the outro. So it's a couple weeks later, and I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. So I went to the food hall in downtown Raleigh, didn't really see anything that was catching my eye. And then I thought, let's go to Coco Bongo's. I went there before. It's slightly out of downtown Raleigh, near the university, and it was fantastic the last time I tried it. But they only had an hour until closing, and I felt like that wasn't enough time. So what we're gonna do instead is we're gonna go to a North Carolina staple. We're gonna be going to Cookout. Cookout is basically the East Coast version of In-N-Out, and we're gonna order like a North Carolinian orders Cookout. So let's go. Can I do the big double burger tray?
What's on it?
Mustard, ketchup, pickles, and barbecue sauce, and Cajun seasoning.
You want cheese or bacon?
No. And then do the chicken quesadilla with the honey mustard chicken wrap, and a Cheerwine float.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
863.
Thank you.
863, sir. Thank you. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Need sauce?
Cookout and Polynesian.
Have a good night.
Thank you, you as well. All right, so we got the Cookout secured. Let's get back to the house and let's eat. All right, so we've arrived back home with the Cookout. Let's dig in. First thing we're gonna crack into is this Cheerwine float. Look at that. Oh, that's good. Let's get this nice and mixed up here. The ice cream with the Cheerwine. Bang. Oh, okay. Let's give this a sip here. Ooh, If you've never had Cheerwine and you're in North Carolina, you had better find the nearest gas station and go get you a Cheerwine. Better yet, go to Cookout and get a Cheerwine float. These things are incredible. Now let's crack into the tray because some people are gonna lead you astray. Bang. Take a look right here, neatly wrapped and put together. We have the big double burger, the chicken quesadilla, and the honey mustard chicken wrap. And you can't forget the Cookout and Polynesian sauce. Polynesian right here, delicious. Cookout sauce right here, delicious. All right, let's start with the chicken wrap. Bang, look at that. Nice healthy chicken tender, fried chicken tender in there with honey mustard sauce on there. You can do like ranch and other things, but the honey mustard is the way to go. And then we gotta crack open our Polynesian and crack open our Cookout sauce. Now we take our chicken wrap and we dunk it right in the Polynesian. Oh man, look at that. Let's take a bite. Do another dunk of that Polynesian. Now that is good. Let's do a little dunk in the Cookout. Okay, let's crack into the chicken quesadilla. Bang! Now as you can see, the chicken quesadilla has its own sauce in there, but that doesn't stop you from dunking it. Dunk, 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 dunk. Man, there's something special about it. Let's take another sip of this Cheerwine float here. Oh, this is a North Carolina treat. All right, and then last but not least, let's crack into the big double burger. Bang. Ooh, all right. Now take a look at that. You see the pickles and the Cajun seasoning on there? That's the way to get it. Cajun seasoning on the burgers. The rest of it, do whatever you want, but the seasoning is a must. If you're getting fries, you have to get Cajun seasoning fries. There's no doubt about it. Don't get the regular fries, get the Cajun seasoning. So let's take a bite out of this thing. Now I believe the barbecue sauce they add is A1 steak sauce, and that's fantastic. I love A1 steak sauce. So one final look after a couple bites. Big double burger, honey mustard chicken wrap, chicken quesadilla, Cookout, Polynesian sauce, and a Cheerwine float. Or a huge tea. We do love our tea down here in the South. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe to help grow the channel. Share with anybody else who you feel would enjoy this type of content, and I believe we're gonna call it a day here. I appreciate you guys coming along with me for the ride. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I can't wait to see you guys again. So until then, have a great night. God bless.